What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Joe Fan, Taylor Price with you. Doing a little Periscope. Coming back from the bye week, getting back in the swing of things, as they say. Coming into week 9 of the NFL season. Obviously, 49ers 1-6. Welcome the Saints to town. They're 3-4, but a big win against the Seahawks last week. We're going to jam for a little bit. Ask your questions, though. Johnny Volk, our social media guru, is holding the old cell phone there. Going to ask us questions. Doing a great job. He's fantastic at this.
Thanks.
Professional Periscope filmer, Johnny Volk. Taylor, what's up, man?
I believe he majored in that.
He did major in that. They have that.
It's good to be back talking Niner football. I know the bye week was, a nice break in the action.
I enjoyed it.
It's a grind in the NFL season, and we just saw some of the players, what they were doing all across the country, going back to their alma maters, giving back to the local community. Marcus Cromartie had the birth of his son, so a lot of cool stuff. The players.
Marcus Cromartie Jr.
Yes.
Welcome to the world.
Welcome to the world. So. I know. We had a nice time off.
What'd you do?
We played some golf. You and I played
some golf on.
We hung out.
It was a great time.
Yeah, great time.
The golf wasn't very good, but the company was fantastic.
It was, and so now we're
rained on a little bit.
Yeah, so now we're digging in through the Saints, getting to know the opponent for the Niners at home, and good times to get back to this home stretch and finish strong.
Some good memories against the Saints. I know you've been here about 10 years. Is this season 9 or 10? I always forget. This is 9.
9.
Season 9.
Number 9.
So you've had some great clashes against the Saints in the Superdome. Drew Brees and that cast of offensive weapons, it looks a little bit different this year. Starting with some of the receivers. Have you seen Brandon Cooks?
Yep.
So Brandon Cooks, their speed guy on the outside, always a big play threat. Michael Thomas, rookie wideout, has been fantastic from Ohio State. 500 yards, 3 touchdowns. Drew Brees is raving about him. I think it was just either yesterday or today saying I couldn't ask for anything more of a rookie receiver. So when you look into this Week 9 matchup, it's a good thing they've had those 2 weeks to prepare and kind of get healthy, get ready back into it, because the Saints are going to fight a challenge, a huge win yesterday against Seahawks.
Yeah, and Chip Kelly and his staff, they spent the entire bye week here grinding on the tape, looking, self-scouting, trying to figure out what they can do with their own guys and get them in better position to win. And then they look at what the Saints did, and they're coming off a big win at home against the Seahawks, 25-20. Against that defense, they moved the ball and scored some touchdowns. So the Niners defensively have their work cut out for them. We've talked many times about the rush defense, and now this potentially could be a better matchup. Better matchup for Jim O'Neill's defense, because the pass defense ranks in the top 10 here with Tremaine Brock and the fellas going up against Drew Brees, potentially not so much of a running team the Saints are. So this might be a better matchup here at Levi Stadium.
An interesting wrinkle to follow throughout the week. Mark Ingram was benched yesterday following a fumble that was returned for a touchdown earlier in the game. Earl Thomas returned and scored a touchdown, but he was benched the rest of the game, and it was Tim Hightower's show. 26 carries, I think, over 100 yards. Yeah. So where's that? How's it going to work in the backfield with those two guys? Will be interesting, because up until yesterday it's been Mark Ingram's show.
Yeah.
So it's something to follow. But let's talk about health. I think Carlos Hyde's probably the number 1 name on that list in terms of, are they going to play? Is he healthy? And I think you took that week off. You go into the bye week. Just had 2 to 3 weeks now of rest on that shoulder. Where do you think he's going to be this week?
It's a great question, and if you looked at his video for the Players Tribune, he was doing a little bit of what we do. He's out there interviewing folks at the Warriors game, so it seemed like he was in good spirits and upbeat and optimistic and just sort of a happy, go-lucky sense from that. So if that means he's feeling better, that hopefully translates to him getting back on the practice field. That's the first step. The Niners obviously don't have practice today. They get back on the field tomorrow. The first injury report comes out on Wednesday. So he's got a couple days here to get back on the field, get in the mix. And we saw some good things from DeJuan Harris as well and Mike Davis. So the team has some more depth there. They've shown that they can, fill the void somewhat. If Carlos doesn't have to do every single play, they can get more guys on the field. But hopefully, you got to get 28 back on the field. I mean, he's really the key of this offense right now.
Young Jonathan, any questions?
JD wants to know, with the trade deadline tomorrow, anything we should expect?
A shocking question.
It's a great question, yeah. I mean, November 1st, trade deadline. I think it's so different in the NFL and compared to baseball, right? We're both huge baseball fans, and every trade deadline in baseball is
everybody makes it.
There are a million deals right up to the deadline. Just bang, bang, bang. We've got sources here, sources there.
Yeah.
It's been kind of quiet. I mean, names thrown around. Obviously, Joe Staley and Torrey Smith are two from this roster. But it doesn't feel like, since those initial Adam Schefter tweets, that those have gained necessarily any momentum. We don't know anything else that we didn't know last week. And so what's your take on this?
Well, the Patriots went out and made a splashy move today.
Huge deal.
Jamie Collins went to the Cleveland Browns. They picked up a third-round draft pick, which was a big move because they're on a Super Bowl run and to get rid of one of their top defensive players. So it just shows that teams are willing and interested in making deals if the price is right. And NFL teams covet those draft picks. Trent does. He doesn't like to give away draft picks. So if a team calls at the 24th hour there, the 23rd hour, I should say, and makes a promising offer, you never know. A veteran could be moving on, but all signs indicate that the team hasn't, made a trade just yet because the weekend was very quiet. We heard about earlier in the week, and that might be posturing by agents or other teams trying to get very competitive. You put the word out there, maybe another team ups their ante. A lot of gamesmanship in that way. But, these next few hours here should be pretty interesting, whether it's here or division opponents or future opponents, what could happen.
I mean, Arizona Cardinals just had a lineman go down. I know the Seahawks have had struggles there. So, there's always – every team needs a receiver. So, there's obviously – those are guys who are going to be in demand. But like Taylor said, it just depends if the price is right. I think what's curious about the NFL compared to Major League Baseball is it always feels like it's players for draft picks, especially during the season where there's no minor leagues, right? So in baseball, it's star player for star prospect or whatever the equation is.
Many prospects.
Yeah. Player to be named later.
Yeah.
Is that a thing in the NFL? Players to be named later? I don't think so.
No, it might be cash considerations.
Yeah. The funny baseball jargon.
I was waiting for a Halloween question. No Halloween fans?
No.
Are you going trick-or-treating tonight?
I'm not going trick-or-treating tonight. When you live in an apartment complex, do you need candy for kids? Is that going to be a thing?
I talked about this with my fiance. I think what you do is you put the empty bowl out there and you put a sign that says, "Please take one," and it makes it look like
he's like the Grinch of Halloween. That's so cool.
That would be. Don't come by my place. I might have.
I do have a good Halloween story. My junior year in college, we got a house. This seems applicable. Today's Halloween.
Okay.
And I lived in dorms or an on-campus apartment for the first 2 years. And so Halloween came by. We didn't even think. We live in a residential area.
Yeah. You'd be
didn't even think that there would be trick. It didn't cross our minds. And it was like a weeknight, so we're like at studying, whatever. It wasn't, crazy like party weekend or whatever. But we're all just like kind of hanging out, and our doorbell rings. And we're like... It clicked with everybody. Like, oh no.
So you gave out quarters.
So we've got like Superman on our doorstep, and his parents like back and trick or treat, and
this guy.
It was
not
the
prepared.
Worst feeling.
Never again. He learned his lesson.
We're like, what do we do? And then like the parents like, all right, little Johnny, come back. We'll go to the next one. And so we had to sprint to the grocery store and get candy because we were we ruined Superman's.
So quarters.
Halloween.
You got quarters.
Yeah.
Change.
Yeah.
You can give out walnuts. Those are good ones. Or you can do the empty bowl trick.
Or you
Just
could
saying.
do the empty bowl
Any
trick.
Niner questions? We'll get back to the Niners.
How can the Niners slow down Drew Brees and the Saints passing game?
Great question.
Yeah, get to him.
Maybe you mix up the personnel and maybe you see more Ronald Blair at outside linebacker. There's been talk about moving him over there. You just really need a healthy front, and this week was bye week well timed for this front. Eric Armstead battling the shoulder injury, didn't really get to play full strength against the Buccaneers. So hopefully some time off did him well. Him and DeForest Buckner as well had the foot injury early on in the season. So you got to get those twin towers. They're really strong at the point of attack, and then maybe mix up the pass rush so you're not the same guys every single snap. You get more of Tank in there, maybe some Ronald Blair. It comes down to Jim O'Neill scheming it up and trying to get after their offensive tackles.
Another storyline to watch as well is Rashard Robinson. Chip Kelly said the day after that game that you didn't really know whether or not he'd be available. He said he was the one guy who didn't really know what his status was going forward. So MCL sprain. Is he going to play? That mean more for Keith Reeser. Obviously, Tremaine Brock's there. So push Jimmy Ward back to the outside. He's been doing a lot in the slot of late. So he's a name to watch. And when you're talking about going against a Drew Brees-led offense, you're going to need all hands on deck. And if you don't have Rashard Robinson, that's going to mean someone else has to take that role and fill that void because they're going to run a number of 3 and 4 receiver sets where the DBs are all going to be out there.
And then you have Aaron Lynch, the high ankle sprain. So those are 2 defensive players to watch their health status throughout the week. They don't necessarily need to practice. They need to be full every single day. But if you don't practice at all, chances of you suiting up on game day.
Yeah. My guess is there's going to be a decent amount of questionable tags this week. That's a popular one, but those definitely are 2 names to watch. I would anticipate DeForest Buckner, Eric Armstead, good to go. But yeah, a week away, we talked to Daniel Kilgore about it. Just get your mind right, get healthy, come back. Yeah, players are off again today, but tomorrow they'll get going. But, I mean, it should be an interesting week. Again, you always want to feel like you're coming off a bye week. Saints are coming off a tough game, physical game against Seattle, have to come on the road. So protect your home field, and it's obviously going to be a point of emphasis. Starting, I know it's not necessarily the true beginning of the second half. This is game number 8, but that bye week pretty much splitting up the season, wanting to come back and finish strong.
Another point of emphasis, military appreciation week.
Absolutely. You got the gear.
We decked out all week, coaches, players, and the
camo.
Stars and Stripes representing.
Good in camo, man. Look at the hood lining and everything.
As always,
fancy.
Team Store at the Levi Stadium and the flagship store at the Westfield Mall in San Francisco. Went out there the weekend.
Did you?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Little weekend in the city?
Yeah. Very nice.
What else we got?
That's all we got.
That's all we got.
This was fun.
It's very fun.
We should do this more often.
It's almost lunchtime, I think.
Yeah.
Which is really exciting.
Can we pan? Can we show them the auditorium?
Yeah, let's check out the digs.
This is where the 49ers have their post-game press conferences. That's where Coach Kelly and Colin Kaepernick speak to the media. And, we thought we'd steal some time,
We might pop around different spots of the stadium. You take requests if you have requests. Maybe we can do one in the press box. Steal Matt Mayoko's seat in the press box maybe and do a Periscope.
Or just his office down the hall.
Or we could take his office. That would be good.
I like that.
We're going for you, Matt Mayoko, if you're watching.
Yeah.
All right. Any final thoughts, Taylor?
Just looking forward to get back in the swing of things. Yeah. We had some nice time off. Everyone's relaxed, refreshed, and let's get after it. It's fun to watch this team grow and develop and see what they can do. There's a lot of young players that really just have to blossom in the second half of the season. There's no more, I'm a rookie, I'm a new guy. And the training wheels are off. So it's time to just go. Play some ball, finish strong.
It's time for us to go. Lunchtime's calling. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, everybody.